Thank you, Caitlin. First topic I'm going to cover is one of the linchpin mitigations in the document. That's MM overlay CUL1E, which I think needs to be further explored and I think might be a deferred mitigation. Other commissioners at our HCPC and Planning Commission meeting on September 24th agreed that that probably needed work. Even at the level of a programmatic EIR review, we don't want to just kick the can down the road to a future discretionary review to mitigate impacts. We need to mitigate impacts in the present. So design standards were discussed, something like that integrated into the overlay zone to actually mitigate the issues now when it comes to aesthetics and cultural impacts. That CUL1E, again, is the linchpin reference for how we're mitigating aesthetic and cultural impacts, and I think it definitely needs work. Parking was referenced early and often in our meeting, especially its secondary impacts on traffic, greenhouse gases, vehicle miles traveled. I'm sure anyone who watched the meeting knows Commissioner Fry illustrated her point pretty vividly with some rather convincing calculations. To me, this may be a glaring omission from the draft EIR, is again not analyzing those secondary impacts caused by parking. There is precedent there. General plan consistency was an area I focused on. So if you see table 3.3-3 in the draft EIR, and you really read through that, there are bullet points, policies, and goals pulled from the current general plan 2025. But in reviewing those and reading the general plan, especially elements 1 through 3, I found a lot of inconsistencies, and I think there was a lot of missing context. Of particular note in framework 1 of general plan 2025, FAR, floor area ratio, is called out as an important control on building mass and traffic. It's replete throughout that section. I think all the policies and goals are in that context. So bigger commercial buildings to the tune of what is proposed by the overlay are strongly inconsistent with foundational areas of general plan 2025. I think there have been a lot of other issues presented by both the public and at that planning commission meeting. One question I had is, we referenced again design standards and potentially making some changes to the overlay to mitigate impacts. But as it was brought up, I think we have a live approval of a general plan amendment for the overlay as written, and I'm not sure that we could make any impacts at this stage or make any changes at this stage, especially integrating that into a CEQA analysis. I don't think we can add mitigations at this point to the overlay, build-in mitigations, because at least planning commissions moved it forward. So I'm curious about that interaction. So I made the case at that meeting and tonight that there are enough significant deficiencies that would change the complexion of this EIR analysis, and this draft should be pulled back and revised. You guys could also extend it to the end of the public comment period. I think we need to think about that threshold. When is the draft EIR inadequate? I know staff has advised the issues can be deferred in the final draft, but I think we need to do right by the responsibilities under CEQA and by right by the community. Thank you.